Good morning, Charleston.
Today, Aii is taking you on the road to the nation's capital. I'll be starting from Charleston, South Carolina. Brigham will be starting from Cincinnati, Ohio.
We're going to talk gas prices, we're going to talk potholes, we're going to talk everything, infrastructure, innovation, transportation, energy, whatever's on my mind and whatever's on your mind. Not a great way to start a road trip, so taking a quick pit stop. My gas here is $3.59, so we're filling up. I'll be hitting the road in this 2005 Toyota Corolla. This pump is not cooperating very well. We're gonna go ahead and stop at $40, which is a little bit ridiculous. All right, we have a full tank and we are ready to go. We are gonna hit 270,000 miles on this trip, team, so let's get going.
All right, good morning. So as I am driving from Cincinnati, Ohio, over to Washington, D.C., a distance of about 500 miles, my colleague Ben is getting in his trusty vehicle and he is driving north from South Carolina. And we're going to meet in Washington, D.C. and compare notes. How long did it take us? How much did we have to pay for the energy to get over there?
So this is definitely not a race, but here's a fun fact. It was exactly 8 hours on my Google Maps estimated time. Brigham's driving from Ohio, and he also has exactly 8 hours on the clock. I anticipate maybe stopping once for gas. Brigham should have to stop at least once to charge, so we'll see who gets there first.
My assumption is Ben's going to pay more than I am for the energy he needs to travel an equivalent amount of distance. Gas prices are still pretty high across the country, and EVs do tend to have the edge when it comes to pure cost. Convenience, I think internal combustion engines, or ICE as they're called, still has the benefits because, let's be honest, even with the latest superchargers, it still takes time to charge the car. I'm curious though whether Ben's cost to drive there will be about the same as me, double what the Tesla costs, triple, or even more. What do you think? I'd be curious to hear your feedback on the cost differential.
I just discovered probably the worst part of my day is that I've been driving in fourth gear for like 50 miles. There's 5 gears on this car, and I was even in cruise control going 70 miles an hour in fourth gear. I'm not happy with myself. We're about to make history together. I'll let you watch as we hit a new milestone in this vehicle.
Welcome to the happiest place on earth, Buc-ee's. If you don't know about Buc-ee's, it is the greatest gas station in America, founded by an Aggie. Giga. Whoop. This is a double gas station, hundreds of these. They have the best bathrooms of all time, and it's basically like a Walmart. Come with me and enjoy this stop on a road trip. So we got our snacks, but let's go do a spot check on the price here at Buc-ee's. $3.69 for regular. All right, so I know what you're thinking. Wow, Buc-ee's, huge gas station, but they've got charging stations all lined up on the side. And on that note, let's go see what Brigham's up to.
Tesla has been upgrading their superchargers from 150s to 250s, meaning they're a lot more powerful.
Here's why gas prices are high. First, gas is a refined product of crude oil. So you got crude oil, it's got to come out of the ground. Exploration and production is the way that happens. That's a global market. So if people stop producing somewhere, that's going to affect that, which means when you have cartel behavior like OPEC, when you got a war with Russia, or when you have policies aimed at diminishing oil and gas exploration and production, you're going to have less oil, which supply and demand, less of something means that it's going to cost more. All right, then you got to transport it. That's a lot of cost added. Pipelines, rail, ships, trucks. Then you get to the refineries. Refineries have tight margins. They got to produce refined product, gasoline, diesel, distillates. We've actually shut a lot down or converted them to do other things. That high global oil price then gets filtered through that, and that's a value add, so there's going to be a price increase for your products there. Then you got to transport it again, another cost. Once you get to the gas station, they have a lot of costs to recover, profit to add. You have federal gas tax, you have state and local gas taxes all added in. So the price you see at the pump, that's a lot of hands that have touched that product. There's a lot of policy factors that impact that. And then you have profit margin by each of the people just doing what every business has to do to stay alive.
When we talk about transportation delay costs, this is what we're talking about. If you add up all of the individuals in the cars, that their time and productivity is being lost, if you look at all of the trucks, the freight movements that are not occurring or that are being delayed, we're adding up costs. All of these impacts cause substantial money.
So I'm trying to be as fuel efficient as possible, which means I'm staying in cruise control when I can, except right now, because a whole lot of 18-wheelers have decided that they're going to switch back and forth between the left and the right lane of this 2-lane highway. Not optimal, and it is causing a lot of traffic jams for no apparent reason.
If you quantify them all, it has a negative drag on the economy. Infrastructure is important because it allows us to optimize our supply chain networks. From a mobility standpoint, it gives us freedom in our lives. And you know this, if you have waited in traffic, or when the trip to see your son or daughter play soccer is supposed to take 15 minutes and it takes 45 minutes or an hour, well, that's time that you've lost forever that you can't get back. It affects us personally, but it also affects our checkbook, or our wallet, I guess, as we say these days, because it means that the mail truck in front of me is not getting there. Off to my left, these vehicles, these brand new cars are not being delivered on time. It means that coffee's not making it to our favorite place. It costs us all money, and yet it's silent because it's kind of behind the scenes, but it's really there. That's one crucial reason why we should all care about infrastructure, and why when it comes to investing in infrastructure, it's a no-brainer.
Apparently, we seamlessly transitioned from South Carolina to North Carolina without me noticing. So, welcome to North Carolina. We also just passed a billboard that said, 811, call before you dig. In case I don't see another, here's your reminder to call before you dig. That's anyone from homeowner digging to plant a tree in your yard, or to put in a mailbox, or build a deck, to professional excavators, construction crews, and contractors. In the United States, because we have an incredible pipeline network, we also have over 20 million miles of underground utilities. That is pipelines, cables, wires, water mains, telecommunication lines, a lot of things like that. It's all under your feet. So over 20 million miles running under your feet. Pretty much anywhere you are in the United States, there's a good chance that if you dig straight down, something is near you. So when you call 811, you tell them where you're digging, what you're doing, and what kind of tools you're using. They will notify all the utility companies in that area. Power company, water company, pipeline companies, and tell them, hey, somebody's digging in this spot. They will then send out locators, and you may know the spray paint markings all over sidewalks, streets, yards. Those spray paint markings, they're color-coded. Those are to designate what underground infrastructure is there. So the next time you see a yellow spray paint marking on the street, you can know there's natural gas or steam or petroleum pipelines underground. When you see red, you know that's an electrical line. Blue is water. It's important to call 811. They'll come out and mark. Then before you start digging, you can avoid digging where those spray paint markings are, and hopefully save your life and a whole lot of hassle.
How do you know if you're in Virginia? Speed limit enforced by aircraft.
That is just gorgeous.
far. I spent $20.06 at the first energy charging stop. I'm guessing about the same here. Then I have to account for the energy from this next charging station all the way to the destination in DC. I think we'll get to DC for less than $50. Probably about 45 to 47 would be my guess, but I could be wrong, and we'll see how close I am when we get there. You know, it's not bad, but I'll tell you, it's not great either. I mean, you know, historically, when gasoline was under $2 a gallon, I think we could have done the same trip for about the exact same price.
About an hour outside of DC, and my fuel light just came on, which is partly because I've been driving less than efficiently and made a couple stops. But we'll stop for gas.
So we filled up for $3.59 in Charleston. And then we saw $3.69 at Buc-ee's in Florence, South Carolina. I saw $3.79 on my way through North Carolina. And now we are at $3.89 here in Virginia.
I've been almost in DC for like 40 minutes now. There is crazy traffic starting like 20 miles before you actually get to the city. And it is the most irritating time to drive a stick shift because I'm constantly stopping and starting and switching between gears. Even though it's like 3 p.m. on a Tuesday, everyone's trying to get into the city. I'm in the middle of the Potomac, so I'm gonna say I'm officially in DC. We're there. We made it.
In 1,000 feet, take exit 6 on the left.
All right, well, I'm coming up on Capitol Hill here. This is after a cross-country road adventure in Mr. Tesla. All right, here we are on Capitol Hill, man. This is freaking awesome and amazing. I stopped twice. The first time I went from about 15% back up to 90%. And that was in Pennsylvania, or West Virginia. And then I stopped a second time just in Hagerstown, which is about 20 miles past Frederick, i.e. within 70 miles of DC.
We've reached Capitol Hill.
In DC now, just a few blocks from the Capitol. And you can see this gas price. It is $5.89 for regular. And then it's $6 and more for the other gas.
I'm interested to hear the difference in the road noise from my car and Brigham's car.